girlfriend. Hey, it's your girl, Tishoy. And welcome to Girl Wake That Ass Up podcast and conversation. So happy to have you here on tonight. And you're probably saying, looks like she's sitting on the floor. I am. I am sitting on the floor because I wanted this podcast to be one, comfortable, two, not too formal, and three, a safe space for us to have an actual conversation. Today, this podcast is specifically created for my girls that has lost their mom. Yes, I know. For the girls that has lost their mom. So today is my mother's birthday. And this is who she is. I don't know if the camera's going to catch all of it. My beautiful Hazel. Today is her birthday and I celebrate her today. Because she was a phenomenal woman in the physical, and she is a phenomenal woman, a powerful woman in the spiritual. So I want to talk to my girlies who have lost their mom and you're probably struggling right now. Especially for those who have been experiencing grief in like the last 5 years. Girl, I get it. I get it. I understand where you feel. I understand that it is a tough time and no one has the answer for what you are going through but you. You will have to learn what it takes for you to cope with your mom not physically being here. There's days where it's like absolutely amazing. And there's times when it's like, it's horrible. But it's still a beautiful experience that I would say. Losing your mom may feel like the anchor that was keeping you on earth was cut off. So you may feel alone. You may not have people in your circle that will understand the grief that you feel. They will empathize with you and feel sorry for you, but they may not know what exactly to say. And what I would recommend is just loving them where they are. Because some people will say some crazy shit. Like I've seen and experienced some crazy stuff. I've seen and I've heard when my mom first passed away, a lot of women were like, I can be your mom. No, you cannot be my mother. And some people can't even live up to that because that's a lot of weight to carry. And that is a lot to even want to live up to. So if you don't know the stages of grief, let me go over that with you, because those are the things that you may experience. And it's not always in the same sequence. It may be different. Hold on, girl. So you have 5 stages of grief. Okay. The first time I learned about this is when I was studying sociology in college. I had a death and dying course, and it was mandatory for me to take this. And I did not know that grief had stages. And I'm happy I took that course in college, because when my grandmother passed away when I was in college, I was able to identify the stages that I was in and also be able to see them in my mother as well. Fast forward a couple of years, then I experienced losing my mom. So I understood the stages of grief and was able to identify where I was and also understand the seasons that it happens. For example, for me, my mother transitioned on the 6th of June, the 6th month. So usually her birthday It's a kind of some kind of way. I don't know how I'm going to feel. And you have Mother's Day, get a little break. Then her, the time that she transitioned, and then break, then holiday. So you need to figure out how and be aware of what your emotions are like, where you are mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, and plan for that. Like, for example, I knew and I know February 26th is my mama's birthday. If I request a day off and I don't get it, I'm calling out. Today I called out. I was not up in nobody's job because I knew over the years I used work to cope and deal with the grief of my mother, to the point that I buried it so much that when I started my healing journey, the day of her birthday, I would dread it and I would be so emotional going to work. So here's my recommendation for you. Your mom's birthday, go request it off. If you don't want to request the day off, I would request the entire week off and allow yourself to be. Allow yourself to feel. Allow yourself to celebrate. Allow yourself to dance. Allow yourself to cry. Allow yourself to go get a massage, self-care. Allow yourself to feel everything. Because if you do not, it's going to sneak up on you one day. All right, so let me go back to the 5 stages of grief. So the 5 stages that you have is denial, anger, depression, bargaining, and acceptance. It can happen in any stage. There's no, first it's denial, then it's anger, depression. There's sometime it can be acceptance. Like for me, I started off with acceptance and I stayed in acceptance for a long, long time. And then I don't think I experienced denial. And then I got angry. And then depression. I don't think I experienced bargaining at all. But the 3 that I really experienced was acceptance, anger, and depression. High functioning, because I was working. Ain't know I was depressed, child. Did not know. So those are the 5 stages that you may experience in this time that your mom has transitioned. And not only that, from this podcast, you'll be able to take from it not only just losing somebody from the physical into the spiritual realm, but also people in your life. When you're in relationships and you lose somebody, you also experience those 5 stages of grief. Take your mom's birthday off. I also would recommend the holidays. Do not stay alone unless you have the mental and the emotional toughness to be alone. Then I would recommend being alone. Because during this journey, there are times where you will feel like a fish out of water and you will feel like no one is there to help you. You will feel alone. And you may even contemplate leaving this earth because the pressures of this world will feel so heavy on you. You would think the best thing for you to do is just go be with your mama. And life is just a beautiful thing. Unfortunately, we are experiencing it without our mothers physically being here, and this shit fucking hurts. It fucking hurts and it sucks. It's not easy. It's not something that you're gonna get over. It's something that you just learn to cope and deal with. You learn to to just feel the feelings of anger or depression or sadness or, just missing your mother. But there's ways that you can honor her. You can honor her in the way that you show up. You can honor her in the way that you love your children if you are a mother. And you can honor her by starting a foundation. What is something that your mom did that she was not able to do while she was here? Did your mom cook? Start a foundation or a scholarship for somebody to go to culinary school and name it after your mom. Did your mom dance? Come up with a scholarship for somebody to go to dance school. Did your mom sing? There's so many ways that you can do. There's so many things that you can do to honor your mother, right? And you're probably asking, okay, Tashoy, Do I ever get over this? Child, no. No. Let me give you an example. There was a time, was a lady, I just met her, and it was a year after my mom passed away, and I told her, and I don't know why I used to just walk around, yeah, my mom just passed away, da, 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 da. And if you are like that right now, that when you talk to people you're like, yeah, my mom just passed away, that is fucking okay. Yes, you are in pain, you're trying to figure out how the hell to survive without this lady. So if every person you are talking to that your mom passed away, that's okay. Put a pause right there because I'm gonna come back to that. So when I was talking to her, she told me, we related because her mom passed away, but her mother passed away 20 years. My mom passed away a year ago, a year at that time. And I remember her crying. She's like, yeah, I miss my mama. And I remember her bawling. And in my head, I'm just like, oh no. In 20 years, I better not be crying over my mama like that. I was so saved and sanctified and unreal. I was so detached from human experience, it was actually kind of disgusting. Right now, I think this is the 13th year, and I still feel the grief. Some days better than some days is better than the other. But I do want to wrap this up because I don't want to keep on rambling. But this is the tease that I really want you to get. And I'm getting really serious with you right now. Remember that pause I had? We're going back to there. Yes, if you lost your mom, you're going to have a void like this. The hole is probably going to be bigger. And because that void is there, you are going to want to find something or someone to fill that void. I will encourage you to be very mindful of that. Be very mindful of who, what, and how. Let me give you some examples of some things that I experienced when my mom passed away. And it's because I was so naive, and I relied on my faith of doing the right thing to do this. But when I think about it, God did not tell them people to do that. Be mindful of people dropping God's name. And if somebody asks you for money and you don't give it to them, God is not going to be mad at you. They're not. When my mom passed away, this is why I want you during this time to be mindful and watchful. Okay? Because people are not nice. Some people prey on other people when they're at their low and they're experiencing some kind of grief. Let me get to the story. It was maybe 30 or 60 days after my mom passed. There was this lady that I took on to, and she was super, super Christian and spiritual. And, she was able to see demons and how she loved God, and how she was doing all this stuff and pray and lay hands and all these things. So, me being young, I admired and I looked up to her. After my mother passed, I had somebody to go pick her up because she didn't have a car. They picked her up. They brought her to the funeral. And she called me and she texted me. And she said, Tashoy, God told me to ask you to pay for my rent this month. She said, this is not me, this is God. God told me to ask you to pay for my rent this month. And do you guys know all the financial gifts that I received from my mother's funeral? I gave it to that woman to pay her rent because God told her to ask me to pay for her rent. I believed her. Y'all, ask me where she at right now. Ask me where this woman is at right now. Don't know where she at. Cannot be found. Never. I don't recall her calling. I don't recall her counseling. I don't recall her supporting. I don't recall her doing any of those things. But yet God told you to ask me, who just buried her mother, to pay your rent. Another lady comes. Mind you, these are grown-ass women that are hooting and hollering in the blood of Jesus. Another lady who was married. And I think if the pastor knew this, they would have been fired. But I ain't say nothing. Again, God told me to ask you to pay for my rent. My mother just died. I am nothing but 24, 23 years old. And the crazy thing is, these women knew that. They knew it. 20-something years old. And they said God told them to ask me to pay for my rent. I know some of y'all are like, especially if you're super Christian and you can't question God. That's bullshit. Because you and I both know nobody in their right natural mind will go to somebody in their grief that just buried their mom trying to figure out where the fuck they're going to live. These ladies did not ask me if my rent was paid. But yet God told them to tell me to pay for their rent. And you know I paid for their rent? Ask me where these women are. Nowhere to be found. When I need help, support, somebody to talk to, they were nowhere to be found. So, sister girl, be watchful and mindful when people are using the word God. Because I remember when these women would call me and ask me those things, I asked, God, you really gonna tell these people that I'm gonna pay the rent? I said, I barely have money to move for Brandy and I. But I said, Father, if I'm gonna be obedient to you, I just want to be obedient. I just want to be a good girl in your eyes. I paid their rent. When Tashoy rent was needed to be paid, and God told me to ask them, where were they? The same God. So I know some people are gonna challenge that, but that's bullshit. That's bullshit. You don't go to somebody in their grief to ask them to get for that person to pay their rent. That's BS. So baby girl, you be mindful of when people start coming around in your grief, in your sorrow, in your pain, in your bargaining, in your anger, in your stress, in your loneliness, in the void that you have, talking about God told them. That's bullshit. I'm here to warn you. Don't listen to that shit. You need to develop a relationship with God, the creator, the higher universe, whatever you believe in. And make sure you are sure when these motherfuckers come to you talking about God told them. Okay? I also want you to be mindful. If you are a single woman, I need you to come close. Come closer. If you are a single woman, listen to me. If you are a single warm man that just experienced the death of your mother. Watch out for small dick motherfuckers. Let me drink. Hold on. Let me take a sip. I hope you laughed, but I'm serious. If you just buried your mother, remember earlier we were talking about when your mom first transitions, it's a pain that you're feeling, and it's a sorrow and a baggage that you carry. You want to express that to people, and like, hey, my mom just died. There is men out there that will prey on you. You got a void that needs to be filled. Not only do you have a void, you're vulnerable, and they see that shit, and they will come in and start coming. They will start coming in and want to be there for you. Take out your trash, fix your car. They're going to do all this shit until they get you on your back, get what the fuck they want, them little 30 seconds, the little 30 seconds, a couple of times. And once they receive what they want, you are going to be left alone. Your void just got bigger. Your void just got bigger. So you need to be mindful while you are grieving the death of your mother of little dick ass niggas. Men. Beep out niggas. Be mindful of them. They are there and they are looking and lurking to take the very virtue, the little bit that you got. They are waiting for your ass. You gotta watch. You got to watch. You got to watch. Keep your eyes open. Keep your eye open. Keep your eye open. Keep your eye open. Keep your eye open. Don't let these, I'm warning you. I am warning you because I've experienced it. I had a man come and tell me when my mom died that I needed to move him into my apartment because I was not able to handle it on my own. Praise God for Hazel. Praise God for Hazel. After my dad left when I was 6 years old, she ain't never bring another motherfucker in the house. And I watched that lady do it on her own. That's why when I was in my grief, I was able to look at that nigga and be like, no, the fuck, you're not coming up in my house. First of all, you're not coming up in here with my little sister. I had a man look at me and tell me that. A year. Told me I was not going to be able to hold it on my own. And I've been holding it on my own ever since. So you got to be watchful. You have to be watchful. Guard your heart. Guard your heart. If you are single, don't go pick up no man to go marry. You, first of all, let's talk about it. You know your mama died, right? And you're grieving. You know how many women marry men out of grief and they regret it. And one day when they wake up out of their grief, they're like, holy shit, why the hell did I marry this man? Take responsibility for that. Because now when you're grieving, you're not dumb. You're not stupid. The senses in your brain doesn't leave. You still have sense. You still got your mind. You're still the boss of your brain. But that feeling that you have of that void, sometimes you will try to search to fill it. You gotta watch. You got to be mindful because people are lurking. Men will take advantage of you. They will take advantage of your home. They will take advantage of your money. They will take advantage of your heart. They will take advantage of your niceness. Girlfriend, you gotta watch. And if you are watching this and you have experienced while your mom is not here, trying and sifting and trying to figure out ways to fill a void. And one of them ugly ass men came into your life, I want you to say this right now. Say it after me. I release them to their highest good or to the lowest parts of hell. That's it. Release them to the highest good or to the lowest parts of hell. Where they go is not up to you. It's up to them and the karma that's going to come back to them. But if you have experienced that kind of pain and that kind of hurt, you need to show yourself some compassion and some grace because you were doing what you thought was right. Nobody didn't teach you anything. So that's why I am here to say, hey, girlfriend, that shit already happened. Let's let it go. Let's move forward. Girl, wake that ass up. Where's that? Girl, wake that ass up. Wake up from your slumber. If that shit already happened, now you know better. Build up your confidence. Know what the hell you want. Make a checklist. Forgive yourself. Know when to see when a motherfucker playing with you. Okay? Ladies, be mindful when somebody uses God's name and be mindful of little dick ass niggas. I probably shouldn't be saying niggas, you know that. And I don't even know how to what you call it? Boop boop, blurt it out. Little dick ass men. Okay? Because some of them, that's all they know how to do is manipulate. They don't know how to do nothing else. I've experienced some crazy stuff, and it took time for me to actually heal. And my mother has transitioned for 13 years now. I started my healing 5 years ago. And I had a couple of women in my life that encouraged me to seek therapy. One was my Aunt Darcy, Pastor Marta Burke, Miss Cherry, some elders I had in my life, and some women. They encouraged me to see therapy, and I actually started to see a therapist. And that's when I was able to take off the strong black woman and strong in the Lord cape, and actually been like, I am fucked up. And that's when I was able to realize and reflect like, yo, nobody didn't. Oh my gosh. But I didn't know any better because I had a void that I was trying to fill. I was naive, and I do not want that to happen to you. I don't want it to happen to you. And if it has happened, girl, we still here in the physical, okay? We still have the opportunity to be big, big in the Lord, or be big in life. Be big in the universe. Just take up all the space. We are here and have the opportunity to do that. Okay? Child, I ain't got nothing else to say. I love you. And in celebration of Hazel's birthday, I dedicate this podcast to her because her transition has taught me a lot. Oh, one more thing. I was just reminded of this. Depending on your belief and who and what you believe in, if this does not resonate with you, then don't pay it no mind. Pay attention, because your mama, even though she's not here in the physical, she is very present in the spiritual. I don't know if any of you watch Tabitha Brown. Go watch Tabitha Brown's story and the dimes. Tabitha Brown helped me, and she's a Christian. I had Christian people tell me, don't tap in or pay attention too much to or the spirit of my mother because it's demonic and the devil can use that to distract you. Of course, energy can be manipulated, but I know when it's my mama. And there are times she came to me in dreams and she would warn me. And I think one time I asked her, what are you doing here? Stop coming to me. And she hasn't dreamed to me in a long time. Most recently, I was worried and she came to me in a dream and she literally looked at me and she laughed. She said, stop worrying. Everything is going to be okay. And she laughed at me and Bree in the dream. Um, but there are times I had questions and I needed guidance. And she will speak through me to me through, she got this Bible right here. I don't know if y'all can see it. It's up here. Probably not. She got 2 Bibles. I got 2 Bibles for her. And this address book. And there are times I would be like, Mom, I wish you were here, man. Like, I need help and guidance. Sometimes the Bible will fall. It will open to a page. Sometimes I will get this urge to start cleaning something. And while I'm cleaning, I'll open up an envelope. It's right there. So if you are, depending on your belief, your mama is fighting for you and your mother is very present. You just got to be able to see. You just have to want to sense her. That's what keeps me going. But if nobody hasn't told you yet that you are loved and you are very needed and you are very necessary, I know it's hard because you just lost the anchor to keep you here and grounded on earth. But just know your mom is very present and she's giving you the strength to move on into this life and move forward. It's your girl T to the short. Thank you for being here for Girl Wake That Ass Up Conversations. I love you. Bye.